College football, week 10, best bets. In this video, we'll go through 4 of the biggest games on Saturday, give you our favorite thoughts on their side or total. We also dive into some individual games as well as wrap up the video with some player props for you guys to bet on. As always, my name is Austin. We're joined by Logan. Logan, it's good to see you. I'll be honest, you were this close to pulling off the 5-0 sweep last week. I went 2-3. Not a great week for me, but you went 4-1. You more than made up for it. We love to see that. Your only loss was a backbreaker. I mean, you can't make it up. But hey, a 4-1 week, we can't be mad with that. Let's try to duplicate that. Let's see if we both can have a big week. We are long overdue a 5-0 sweep. And speaking of winning, last week we finally broke through, Logan. We cashed our Underdog fantasy slip. Hey, round of applause, 5 extra money. Pretty easy winner there. We're going to try to do it all over again this weekend. A reminder, we'll be doing some Underdog slips in just one moment. But Logan, let's just dive into the game. So we'll begin with our first one out in Tennessee, where we have Tennessee Volunteers playing host to Oklahoma. Right now, you're looking at Tennessee as 2.5-point favorites. The over-under sitting at 55.5. Primetime game in Knoxville. Logan, what are you rocking with?
Yeah, so last week I faded Oklahoma to some success, obviously, with Ole Miss. And once again, I'm fading Oklahoma in this spot. I'm taking Tennessee, and I'm laying the points with the Volunteers in this one. Look, I can get 2.5. All I got to do is win by a field goal in this spot. The Oklahoma's shown they can be explosive, but really, this offense lacks any consistency, especially when it matters the most. Fun fact for you, Austin, Oklahoma averaging 2.3 points in the fourth quarter. That's one of the worst ranks in college football. This team really kind of, when it matters most in the end of the game, they're just not showing a whole lot. And last week, I'd argue Ole Miss kind of left them the door open. Lane Kiffin was getting cute, and I really did think Ole Miss might be in jeopardy. Oklahoma just couldn't finish when they needed to. Tennessee, and on the other side, this is a really good football team, won 4 of their previous 5 games, starting to look really like a college football playoff contender. They're going in the right direction. I think this is a good spot for them. They're number 1 in the SEC in terms of scoring, 3rd best in the nation at scoring 42 points per game. Very explosive offense. Last week against Kentucky, 500 total yards, over 500 total yards. 3 receivers, three running backs. All found the end zone. Just a lot of offensive weapons for this Tennessee offense. Even though Oklahoma is a really good defense, we saw Ole Miss able to move the ball up and down the field on them. I don't really have any concern there. And Betr really hasn't looked himself for this Oklahoma team. Hasn't topped over 225 passing yards really since returning. Oklahoma's running game about average, in terms of the pack. And of course, we can talk about Neyland Stadium at night. It's a very tough atmosphere to play. All signs are pointing me to Tennessee in this one, Austin.
Yeah, I mean, I would be right there with you with Tennessee, but I'm actually just going to take the over. If there's anything I know about Josh Heupel, that man runs up the score. We saw him do it last week, 56 points. They hit it by themselves against Kentucky. In fact, Tennessee has yet to have a game this season where the total finished below 55.5. They just run up the score, they score points, and their defense is honestly not all too great. And you saw Ole Miss be able to put up points on them. Oklahoma, their defense hasn't been as good on the road. Last year, if you were to say, well, last year, Austin, the offense didn't look great. It was a 40 total combined points, 25-15. Yeah, both teams sucked on 3rd down, and Nico Iamaleava, it's like they were nervous to even throw him out there to throw passes. I like Aguilar. I think they're able to score points here. I think they run up the score. I think Betr finally, a couple more weeks under his belt. Obviously, I was on Oklahoma last week, thought we might have a chance, but as you said, can't score in the fourth quarter, just not going to cover like that. I think there's points here. Oh, if you want to go first half, just in case you want to avoid the Oklahoma fourth quarter jitters, you can. I like the over, and hopefully Tennessee's putting up a lot of points for the both of us, Logan. Our next game, we had the Georgia Tech's taking on NC State. Georgia Tech, 8th overall ranked team. I mean, who would have thought the Yellow Jackets would be here? Haynes King carrying them on his back. Right now, Georgia Tech 5.5-point favorites. The books think this might be a tight game versus an unranked Wolfpack squad. Over under at 58.5. So points are expected. I want to note, I do have a player prop in this game. If you've watched the last few weeks, you know what it is. But Logan, what do you like in this game and why?
It should be no surprise to you, Austin. I've been riding Georgia Tech for a lot this year, and I'm riding once again here in this spot. I don't care if it's square. I really don't. Like, obviously, the easier angle is to take Georgia Tech. They're the better team on paper. And even though this is a tough spot for them, I think they get the job done. I think they win and cover. Playing in Carter Finley Stadium on a Saturday night, tough historically to play, at NC State. But really, like this Georgia Tech team, pretty battle tested. I mean, they've won games going away, and then they've also won a lot of close thriller games. Like the Clemson game comes to mind. Even the Wake Forest game comes to mind. This is a team that finds themselves sometimes in these close games, and they know how to really pull away when it matters. On the other side, NC State, if you look at they've lost 4 of their last 5 games, blowouts to Notre Dame, Pittsburgh. Just not a great team. Again, trending in the right direction. I think this Georgia Tech team knows they have to take care of business. Obviously, playing on the road in college football can be tough, but when you have a guy like Haynes King at the helm, this is a guy I want to trust. He's an absolute baller. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the nation, especially on the ground. I mean, this Georgia Tech offense is averaging over 35 points a game for a reason. It's because of Haynes King. His ability to really use the legs and to finish those drives, pay it off with touchdowns rather than having to settle for field goals in the red zone. Because when you have a quarterback that can run, just really puts a lot of pressure on the defense in the red zone. And then we kind of look at NC State, high-powered offense at times, but really they've been let down by their defense. So NC State has allowed more than 30 points in 3 of their last 4 games. And until really they find ways to generate consistent pressure, I don't really see them being able to match up well against Georgia Tech. I think we look at defensively, Georgia Tech, far better unit. So give me Georgia Tech, and I'll lay the points with the Yellow Jackets in this one.
Yeah, I almost got sharp taking NC State, taking them plus the 5.5. They feel like not the same thing as Oklahoma last week, because Oklahoma was 5.5, 6.5 point favorites. Instead, I'll actually back NC State on the team total over 25.5. I don't disagree with you. I think Georgia Tech's the better team, no doubt about it. I think they're able to put up points. I have no faith in the NC State defense, but I think the NC State offense can put up points. CJ Bailey's been looking pretty good this year, completing 70% of passes, 17 touchdowns, 7 picks, 3 rushing touchdowns as well to his name. This is a team that's lost 2 straight. Now coming back home, it's kind of how now or never. I mean, we got to turn it around. Next week, they believe they go down to Miami, so that's not going to be a great matchup for them. So coming off 2 straight losses, I think they show up here. I know Georgia Tech's defense has been decent, but again, they haven't really faced a lot of elite offenses, and throwing them on the road, we've seen them struggle a little bit. They gave up 20 to Colorado in week 1, 29 to Wake Forest, an offense I'm not too high on, and then 18 a couple weeks ago to Duke, who's again been kind of up or down. All they really do is throw the football. I think with the combination of CJ Bailey, I think Smothers, their running back, I think they're able to make some plays. I think they're able to score points. I don't know if they cover. They might lose this game 45-30. But I don't really care. I just need points at home. They got to show up, and I think they put up points. Not fading you. I think you could easily cash. We could both cash. I do like the NC State Wolfpack to put up points, though. Our next game, an SEC showdown. Vanderbilt taking on Texas. Vandy is 2.5-point dogs here. Over under at 46.5, a 12 p.m. kickoff out in Austin. Now, injury news here. Arch Manning, it looks like he's in concussion protocol. Logan and I joke about this all the time. Concussions don't really exist in college. I swear they don't take them seriously. So we'll see if Arch is out there. But Logan, does that impact the side you're going to be on, give or take, if he's in or out?
I don't care if Arch plays. I'm on Vanderbilt plus the points in this one. Again, one of the angles I like to take is I like to back Diego Pavia and this Vanderbilt team. I mean, for a lot of this year, they've just been a wagon. This Vanderbilt has ripped off back-to-back wins versus top 15 teams. They don't really beat themselves. I mean, Diego Pavia is one of the better quarterbacks at not turning the ball over. He's a gunslinger, but he's smart in the way that he does it, and that's really kind of what I want to see. Vanderbilt also tied for 12th in red zone scoring, about 4 touchdowns a game. So offensively, the Vanderbilt is just the superior offense in this one. Really lacking continuity is this Texas team. And if you look at Arch Manning or even the backup Matthew Caldwell, really, to me, it doesn't change how I look at this game, because Arch Manning hasn't been all that impressive behind center. Offensively, the Texas just, they'll have a game where they explode offensively, like the Mississippi State game, and they came from behind in that one. Or they'll have games where they just put up stinkers like they did against my Gators. Like there's just no consistency at all. And Vanderbilt's defense, they don't give a ton of credit. Just like, obviously Diego Pavia is the story of this team, but they've been a really good unit. They 38th in the nation in total defense, allowing just under 350 yards per game. They've really been tough on the ground too, as well. You're not able to run that consistently on them. If they look at the opponents, just a little over 100 yards per game on the ground. So offensively, I think Texas is really going to struggle. And then I think Vanderbilt's pass rush is going to be able to get to whoever's behind center in that Texas offense. Diego Pavia finds a way once again. Give me the Commodores plus the points in this one.
Yeah, Logan, last week, one of my 2 winners was fading Texas, taking Mississippi State. The fact that I had to go into overtime to cash down the hook is just disgusting, but that's Mississippi State. You got to sweat it till the very end. I'll be once again fading them. I'm Vandy as well. I don't need to beat into the head of all the people. I just am fading Texas. They're just overhyped. Arch Manning, this offense, sure, they looked good. Mississippi State stinks. They really do. And I think coming in here, you got Vandy, then you have a bye week, and then you have Georgia. just feels like a flat spot here. I know Pavia has just been able to get the job done, only 5 interceptions this season. And they just Pavia sucked last week. Let's be honest. He was not good. And it hurt me to lose Missouri money line. That was tough. Pavia, had 129 pass yards. So again, they bottled him up. I think coming back here on the road, offense will figure out some things and be able to score a little bit more here. I love Vandy. Getting them +3. We could lose by a field goal and still cash. I love our chances of cashing that one. And then our fourth and final game before we dive into a couple extra picks is we have Cincinnati taking on Utah. Utah laying a big number. They're 9.5, 10.5-point favorites here. A little bit surprising to see a battle of two ranked teams and being a near double-digit favorite. For over under at 53, 54.5. Logan, what do you like in this game? A little 10-15 showdown out in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, so Austin, I need to get my look back because the last time I was in a Utah game, it was BYU versus Utah. I had the over, and it missed. It still was kind of like flirting with the number, but I'm once again going to be on the over in this one, over 54.5 or 53.5. In this one, I also do like it at 54.5 if that's what your book has. But this Utah offense, they disappointed me against that BYU game, but they're still averaging 35 points per game. They're pretty balanced. I mean, they're able to get rushing yards, 267 rushing yards per game, 205 yards through the air. Devin Dampier at the helm for quarterback for Utah. I think he's a really solid quarterback. Missed the last couple. If you look at that offense, even without him, Bird Ficklin is able to just kind of put up some decent numbers behind Devin Dampier. 290 yards against Colorado, 3 touchdowns. They'll be fine even if Devin Dampier doesn't play. Again, we're recording this a little bit early, so if there is injury concerns for Utah's offense, I don't really have those concerns. I think they'll be fine. They'll be able to put up some points. And really against the Cincinnati pass defense has been bad. Against the pass, over 250 yards per game allowed through the air. And then we kind of look at Cincinnati. Let's talk about their angle in this game. Undefeated in conference play. 33.7 points per game, 23rd in the nation. This is a good offense as well. I mean, we know how good Brendan Sorsby's been for the Cincinnati team. I mean, he was the reason why I lost that Kansas bet. I will never forget. Brandon Sorsby just took over that game, and he's really good on the ground as well. I love dual threat quarterbacks in college. I know you feel the same way. When you're able to get the dual threat quarterbacks, it's just so hard on the defense because you have to commit to stopping him. And then I just think we look at the over trend. Utah dominant at home, covering and hitting the over in 5 of their last 6 games at home. They're allowing some points, putting up points themselves, but allowing points. Cincinnati's not shy to really, put up points as well. They've hit the over in 3 straight games. 2 high-powered offenses in this one, Austin. I think I love the over, so that's the angle I'm taking.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you. I think there's points galore in this game. I'm actually beyond Utah minus the 9.5. I think the fact that you can get Cincy at plus 9.5 really feels like a number of people are going to be like, all right, late night, I'm chasing. Why the heck is the 17th ranked team 9.5-point dogs? Utah's not necessarily known for being a powerhouse program. And that's exactly why I want to be on Utah. I think they blow them out. I think this could be a 2-touchdown plus game. Bird Ficklin, as you talked about, an electric start in his first one. The guy, it's like Colorado. I never even heard of the man. 278 pass. He went nuclear. The guy had 140 pass yards, 151 on the ground. They dominated. And I don't know if I assume he's starting this week. I don't really care. I think they're able to put up points. And Cincy, I faded them a couple times this year, and it's just been cake every single time. I'm getting my lick back on Brendan Sorsby on the road, late night game here. I think they struggle. And man, if they don't, I will never fade them again. You have my word, but I think Utah shows up at home. That's a tough place to play. I think that they can beat them down. We saw, obviously, I faded them at BYU, but we've seen them beat some high-powered teams at home in recent years. I think their defense is finally starting to turn a corner a little bit. I'm not certain they are great here. I think they give up points for your over, but I think more importantly, their offense puts up a ton of points. I love the Utes. Give me them minus 9.5. But Logan, it is finally time to dive into some extra games, each one a piece. I'm going to let you lead things off with your first individual game. You're going to a Big Ten game. Where are you going?
Yeah, we call these like bonus picks because they're games outside of the big games, the big ranked matchups everyone's talking about. Last week, my only loser of the slate was in the bonus pick. I had Navy minus the points. They got backdoored so hard. It really should have hit. They gave up an onside kick and then of course the dreaded backdoor touchdown. You hate to see that. So I am getting my lick back this week. And Austin mentioned I'm in Big Ten Showdown. I'm taking Minnesota minus the 3 in this one. Against they're playing Sparty. Michigan State limps into this game in bad form. Aiden Childs really isn't getting this done. He's one of the quarterbacks in college that I'm pretty comfortable fading. No consistency whatsoever for this Michigan State offense. I remember watching a little bit of that Michigan game. I was like, oh my gosh. It's just I'm not sure what their offensive identity is truly. Minnesota can be run on, but Michigan State's not really good on the ground. I don't think they have a good enough run attack. Their offensive line's not good enough to really dominate the line of scrimmage there. Michigan State averages just 22 points per game, giving up at least 30 in 3 of the last 5. It's a recipe for disaster there. I think Minnesota takes advantage of that. They're also a way different team at home, and Michigan State has been horrible on the road. Minnesota, I think, will lean a lot on their running backs. Sean Tyler, Darius Taylor, those are 2 pretty solid running backs in that Minnesota backfield against the Michigan State defense that's allowing over 160 rushing yards per game. So I think there's some ground yards for sure for the Gophers in this one. Minnesota's physical style, they play the classic Big Ten brand of football. They're not the flashy Ohio State. That's not what they play. They're more of a ground and pound, established the offensive line and defensive line, and I think they win the battle up front. Nice little bounce back win for Fleck at home against Michigan State, a team just, I think, going in the wrong direction. So I'll take a shot on Minnesota. Chalet in a short number. I think they get it done. But Austin, what you rolling with?
Yeah, Logan, I love the pick. I'm going to wrap the video with my extra bonus pick as well as some player props. So stick around. We're going for back-to-back weeks of cash in our player props. Mine is actually going to be a first half pick. The last 2 weeks, I've delivered you guys winners with Mississippi State. I'm out on that program. Let's go out to Miami, where they're going to actually be an SMU. And I'm taking Miami minus 5.5 on the first half spread, minus 110 on FanDuel, a little 12 p.m. Eastern start. I believe it'll be 11 a.m. out at SMU in Texas. But I think Miami takes pedal to the metal here. If you're looking at a Miami team, I feel like an easy underdog spot people are going to do is SMU plus 12.5. They're like, SMU is so good at home, all this and that. This is just a Miami team that's, I think, outmatches them in every capacity. And heck, SMU can come and backdoor this for all I care. It's 12.5 full game. There's a lot of ways that could go wrong, but I need Miami to take care of business in the first half. That's something they did not do last week when they smoked Stanford. They won that game 42-7. What was the score at halftime? It was 7-7. So they really didn't get going there until late in that game, made some adjustments at halftime, which could be a concern here. But I think if SMU or Miami's going to cover the 12.5, they got to be leading by halftime. Their only 2 games they haven't led by at least 7 at halftime was against Louisville, where Carson Beck threw 4 picks. They lost that game outright. And like it's that Stanford game, I think this team's locked in. They're not going to take and overlook SMU. They're a very good ball club. They know how good they are at home. But I think SMU is a little bit overrated here. Their offense hasn't looked great recently. Their last game, they went up and faced Wake Forest, and that was just a snooze fest of all snooze fest. I think it was like 12-13 or something like that. Like, that is nasty. They lost that game. Maybe they bounce back here. I don't really care. I think they lose this first half by at least 7 or more points. I just haven't really liked what I've been seeing out of Kevin Jennings and company. He looked good early in the season, but as of late, I mean, the guy's thrown a pick in almost every single game except for one. Miami's defense, very underrated. Not necessarily a unit you're like, oh, wow, that's a really good unit. Because granted, last year the unit sucked, but this year their defense is proven. I think they can make stops when they need to in this first half. Kevin Jennings in that offense might make adjustments at half. I don't even care. Give me Miami, the U, to cover by 5.5 in the first half. And finally, we wrap up with our Underdog fantasy entry. A reminder, if you are new to Underdog, you can sign up using our code COS or the link down below. You play $5, you get $100 in bonus funds. You better take advantage of that. I'm just being honest. You better. Like I said, last week we smacked. We are overdue to go for another winner. Again, here are all the states Underdog's available in. If it's in your state, no reason for you not to sign up with code COS or the link down below. But here it is, my Underdog fantasy entry for week number 10. There you go. Haynes King, I told you he's back for more. Rushing, receiving touchdown. He's hit that in every single game this season. Hell yeah, we're backing him. Mark Fletcher, I already told you I like Miami. I think he scores a touchdown. He's been a consistent running back for Miami, SMU's defense. No. Deshaun Bishop, he was in last week's. He's coming back here. He's scoring another touchdown against Oklahoma. And Mekhi Lemon did not have a good game last week, right? That was against Notre Dame. I think he gets in. He scored a touchdown in 3 straight weeks prior to last week. He's a big touchdown guy, a guy that's most likely playing on Sundays. Wouldn't shock me at all. He's a beast, big red zone target for Mayava. I think he scores. 4.54 extra money on that underdog slip, and that is how you cash another chalkboard slip or underdog slip. There you go. Those are our picks for week number 10. We do a very similar video for the NFL. If you're interested in that, I'll link that over here. Go check it out. We go through every single game in the NFL. Logan and I've been doing pretty well over there, so go tap into that. It's awesome, Logan. We're signing out. Sign up for the underdog if you want to. Code COS or the link down below. Thank you guys again. Let's have ourselves another great week. I'll see you guys back again next week, week 11. See you guys then. Peace.